Hi everyone! In this tutorial, we will create a slider with a flip effect using Swiper.js. It includes autoplay functionality and mouse wheel control. It also has a 3D effect using CSS perspective and the Translate Z property. The design is responsive and works well on all screen sizes. On smaller devices, the slider switches to a fade effect for a smoother mobile experience. Let's get started. Let's begin with the HTML. First, we add the CDN links to include Swiper's functionality. Now we create a main section including a content area and a slider. The content area includes a heading, a paragraph, and a button. We wrap the button to create the glowing effect. Each slide has an ID to create different color combinations. It also contains a top area, an image, and a list. And the list is unordered. The same structure is repeated for all slides. The top area contains H1 and P elements, and the image has a transparent background. Now let's move on to JavaScript. In this part, we initialize the slider and control its behavior. If the screen width is smaller than 850 pixels, the slider uses the fade effect. On desktop screens, it uses a 3D flip effect. This creates smoother fading transitions between slides. Slide transitions take 1,200 milliseconds. We enable mouse wheel control to scroll through the slides. Slides change automatically every 3 seconds. The slider keeps autoplaying even after the user clicks. The autoplay pauses when hovering over the slider. Now let's move on to the CSS. In this part, we style the elements and create a responsive design. The image width becomes equal to the card width, and we use it as a square. We split the main section into 2 equal columns, one column for the content area and one column for the slider. We center them horizontally and vertically. We place content vertically and create spacing between elements. The clamp function creates responsive text sizes. The Z-index keeps the button above the glowing layer. We use a gradient background for the button wrapper. We set the width using fit content. Now we create the glow effect. The blur increases when hovering over the button. This creates a glowing neon effect. The perspective creates depth for the flip effect. Now we define different colors for each slide using CSS variables. We use a radial gradient for smooth color transitions. This keeps child elements in 3D space. We add a shadow effect to the images. We use opacity and translate Z to create the 3D depth effect. We create space between the elements, and we align them vertically at the center. We also apply the same 3D effect to the top area. The heading is responsive and uses uppercase text. We also use CSS variables for its background and shadow effects. Its background is blurred and semi-transparent. The Translate Z pushes the elements forward in 3D space. We center the list item vertically. Now we create a custom checkmark for the list item. You can find this link in the description. Now we adjust the layout for smaller screens. We set the spacing and the slider size. On smaller screens, the layout changes to one column. We also adjust the height to ensure its content is displayed correctly. We center the elements in the content area. We also make the slider smaller. And there you have it. We built a responsive slider using Swiper.js. It uses a flip effect on desktop screens and a fade effect on smaller screens. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more creative projects. Thanks for watching.